Another view of the Constitution, Boston Harbor, Gate 1, USS Constitution. There is the monument for Bunker Hill.
We're on the edge of the Charles River. Beautiful, beautiful evening out here. We've used the footbridge to cross over onto the Esplanade where the Boston Pops play, and now we're just beyond that.
The grave of John Hancock. Here. Give you a view of this cemetery. All the way back around.
This is a gravestone of Mary Goose, Isaac Goose's first wife, who died in childbirth with her 9th child. He then married Elizabeth Goose, who raised Mary's 10, and had 8 of her own. And in raising her children and her grandchildren, she made many of the jingles that her son-in-law later published. Elizabeth's grave is unmarked, but other graves of the Goose family are located here.
The oldest grave marker in the old granary burying ground, Elizabeth Neal, aged 2 days, 1666. The infant mortality rate high in colonial Boston. The same name was given to the next child born, thus 2 Elizabeth Neals. High-grade slate with traditional Puritan motifs of death above the names of the dearly departed.
That's the Ben Franklin, or the Franklin family grave, rather. Ben Franklin was buried in Philadelphia, but his 16 siblings and parents and other family members are buried here. An interesting view with the Park Street Church just beyond, the largest brick building built at the time. This is a grave of Paul Revere's father, and beyond it, his mother, Sarah Revere. Paul Revere's father was from France originally, came here as an apprentice for gold work, goldsmithy. His name was originally what?
Apollos Revoir.
And he took the name Paul Revere. Sarah died after having 8 children, and Paul's father remarried a couple of months later and had 8 more. A correction here. This was Sarah Paul's wife, first wife, not his mother. Paul and Sarah had 8 children, and then Paul remarried and had 8 more. Hey, go ahead.
He was a signer of the Declaration of Independence and a descendant of a signer of the Mayflower Compact of 1620, the model for 1776 America. Graduate of Harvard and the Commonwealth's first Attorney General. His most famous court case was the prosecution of the 8 British soldiers for the murders of the victims of the Boston Massacre in 1770. Samuel Adams is buried here. He masterminded the Boston Tea Party. In all, dumping 3 shipfuls of East India Company tea totaling 90,000 pounds, $1 million today.
Boston Massacre. He was half African American and half Indian American. Here's the front of the monument to the Franklin family. Designed by the same person who designed the monument to Bunker Hill. We're in the council chamber of the old State House that used to be the center, very center, of original Boston before 75% additional land was gained by landfill. But this window leads out to the balcony where the Declaration of Independence was read. And looking down the street goes straight out to the harbor. Just down below is also where the Boston Massacre took place. Here is the balcony where the Declaration of Independence was read. This is the outside of the old State House. From the back side, we're here at Fennell Hall. A rich merchant who left this building to Boston donated it to them. This is a merchant's area right down near the water. There's Quincy Market. With all the trade, there were many shops inside these buildings. South Market, there are now small shops all through them. Used to be a very large market area by the water. This is the view from our hotel window. Looking up and down the street, that's the way we head to go to the historic district and start our Freedom Trail that we have done bits and pieces of each day. This is part of the John Hancock Tower. Just opposite us, it acts as a mirror. Wave on. That's us. This is actually a reflection of our own building. We get in on the side over here. There's a nice little entrance over there. This is the newer John Hancock Tower, and it is the tallest building in all of New England. It is 62 stories, something like that. Something like that. And this is where we are located for our Boston stay. We are in the aquarium.
What do they eat? And usually out there in the wild, they'll eat small fish, they'll eat small shrimp and squid, krill, which is a very small like these birds will normally eat wild. A lot of the same fish we do, they'll eat sardines, anchovies, and the thing that I understand is not over here called the question is how cold is the water? The water comes in from Boston Harbor. It is treated and cleaned up, but it's not heated at all. It will go on to fluctuate with the seasons. That would mean that about this time of year, it's probably and around about January, February, it's quite cold.
We're at the top of the giant coral reef,
If we're down there, we can see
the largest in New England. They're feeding the fish right now.
Come on. See? Now we're looking down, but you just
Water from the Boston Harbor is being brought in here and filtered.
There's the turtle. Okay, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Nelson, are you done?
This water is warmed to 75 degrees. This is a Caribbean coral reef, largest in New England. There are 600 fish from 100 species and 3 species of turtles. Scuba divers feed them 5 times a day. They're eating a meal gel, which is a gelatin mixture of fish, plankton, and vegetables. The larger fish are fed squid, shrimp, and meal gel. The turtles are fed with squid, a type of fish, meal gel, and lettuce. Oh, I've been blurry while I've been reading. We are down a little bit farther on the tank. Quite a view from here. Tarpon. Whoa. These are Crevel jacks, they call them. The shark initially. There's some more coming. Go deeper yet. Many sizes, many colors. They give us a little information here, which is very helpful.
Wow.
What a view of a stingray.
Male. One is his size. Tyler is weighing in today at 613 pounds. That is a lot, isn't it, Tyler? Yes, it is. Tyler is actually at the low end of his weight range, though. Sea lions, their breeding season is in the summer, and males bulk up to look extra handsome. Tyler? Good job. One on either side of their head, they're called pinna, and they're kind of like the ear flaps that you and I have. Now, another difference between the two is the way they get around in the water. Seals use which set of flippers, Tyler? That's right, they use their rear flippers in a side-to-side motion to push themselves through the water. Sea lions, on the other hand, use their very powerful front flippers to pull themselves through the water. Now, the final difference I'll talk about today between the two is the way they get around on land. Now, sea lions actually have the ability to rotate their rear flippers up underneath their bodies, and this allows them to walk on all fours good in the form of a gallop. Good job. Now, seals and sea lions do have things in common besides sliding. They're both from the same suborder of marine mammals known as pinnipeds. Now, they both have the same body type, long and streamlined, with two sets of flippers, tails, and whiskers. Now, they also share something besides physical characteristics. Good, and that's a common predator. Now, Tyler actually does an impression of this predator. Let's see if you all can guess just what it is he's trying to be. That's for two very important reasons. One is their incredibly long and sensitive whiskers. They're called vibrissa, and they help sea lions pick up vibrations in the water. They'll also help tell Tyler exactly where the ball is on his nose. Now, the other thing that makes them such good balancers is a very long and flexible neck. Good. It's the incredible flexibility. Good of a sea lion's neck that help them find fish and navigate. Good in murky waters. It also makes them some of the best balancers in the world. So feel free to cheer Tyler on, folks. He certainly loves the encouragement. Here comes the T-Hound. Well, thank you all.
We're on Central Wharf at Boston Harbor. You see over there is, you see the airport. There's some planes. It's where we're going in a few hours. Ship coming in. It's probably one of their tour boat ships.
said the fans on them often correspond with the ones that are made.
These are the orange and green trolleys that we spent a whole day in nicer weather than this. Wasn't so cold or it wasn't rainy. We had a beautiful day to go riding around the trolley.